Hey everybody. Hello, welcome to Audrey Live. Again, a nice sunny day. We've been very fortunate to have some great weather. The last week or so, it's been like 20 to 25 degrees Celsius here in Ontario where I live, and no snow. Sorry for some of those that are in areas that have been hit with snow. So far, we are doing quite good. Fingers crossed it'll stay that way for a little bit longer. I do like snow and seasons, but it can wait for a little bit. We've got a couple of big weeks coming up. Um, my one daughter Ashley and her husband and two kids are moving into this area, so the next couple of weeks we'll be doing lots of packing and moving, so the snow can stay away for a little bit till we get that all settled and get them all settled and in place. So today we have the one and only Erika Joanne on the show today, so join the conversation with Erika as we learn more about her, and also Debbie Cotton will be on showing us another one of her outdoor decorating techniques. So you definitely don't want to miss that. Actually, I'm going to see if I can share just a little, I think a little quick sneak peek at what she's going to show us. Just watch.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Cottons. Thanks so much for joining me today. I'm going to show you guys how to do a quick little demonstration on how to make a beautiful outdoor arrangement for Christmas. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the
So we got look forward to that, Debbie, to seeing how she puts together that really neat outdoor decoration. We're kind of mostly done the fall. I know the US, they still have their Thanksgiving next week or in 2 weeks, maybe in 2 weeks. It's the end of November, but I know here in Ontario, a lot of us are starting to get into our Christmas decorations now. So just take a look to see what she's going to show us. So that'll be a little bit later in the show. Also wanted to make sure that you let me know where you're from. Comment, ask questions, anything that you want to know of the show, ask questions of the guests, and we'll try to answer during the show. Otherwise, we'll make sure we get back to you after the show. If you have any suggestions too of what you'd like to see on the show in the new year, we pretty well got our schedule outlined from now till Christmas time. So we're starting to work on some of the January and so on scheduling. So if there's certain things that you'd like to see or somebody you'd like to see on the show, just let me know, and then we'll work on that as well. Also, there's so much going on right now online. We have tomorrow, Tracy Morrow and Deb Antonek are doing really neat Zoom classes. I know Tracy's is full. I believe Deb has a couple spots. So this is what Tracy will be doing, this cozy Christmas. So that'll be tomorrow, called Peppermint Tea. It's going to be from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Eastern. And then we have Deb Antonek, she'll be doing her mixed media snowy, and that is from 3 till 5. So you can, if you're still interested in taking the class, you can go to www.paintingwithdeb.ca for more information. And yeah, just kind of a neat opportunity to learn more from different artists all over the place that you haven't been able to before. We also have, and I will be hosting that. So it will be hosted by Audrey Live. As well, we have Deb Cotton. She'll be doing a Zoom class on November 20th from 12 till 4 Eastern called Silver and Gold. Isn't he adorable? So that's another opportunity for you to take a class online. I will also be monitoring and hosting that class for you. And you can go to simply/cotton.com under Zoom classes to register for that as well. So that is November 20th, which is next week, Friday, and November 13th, which is tomorrow, for Tracy and Deb Antonek. And there are so many things going on, right? Like, how can we keep track of all these classes and all these lives, and how you register for things? And so there's this really neat group that has come together and set up a thing called Paint Happens. It's on Facebook. So if you go to Facebook, it's a group and it's called Paint Happens. So it says this group was made of, for all of us who have trouble with FOMO. What's that? Fear of missing out. Fear of missing out. You just want to make sure that you're not missing out on anything. Or where are you going to find all these classes that people are talking about? They're really going to be putting on painting events, any classes, things like that. People can post there. And then that's where you can also go to find all these different events. So make sure you go to Paint Happens on Facebook and just like it, or I think you have to become a member. It is a private group, so you have to become a member. But in that spot, they will have all the information there as much as possible of what's happening. And so you can post there and you can also find out information there. Yeah, I think that was it. We've got so much coming up today, so I think we're just going to get started. Oh, yes, sorry. I knew there was one more thing. Another really great event that just posted yesterday, I believe. It's called Up the Creek. So Emerald Creek, Kim Evans, which a lot of you know out there, I know quite well. She has set up an event called Up the Creek. And it's on Facebook as well that you can find the information. So what it is, it's 4 different designers and 4 different projects. And that's going to be on December the 5th from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Pacific. A lot of these things, don't worry, I will post them again, the links on our Facebook page, Audrey Live Facebook page, so that you can take a look at them. So it's called Up the Creek, Emerald's Creek. So you can register, go to emeraldcreek.co to register for all these free Zoom classes. Each of them will be an hour. And you can also, through that link, you can purchase the kits from each of the different artists. So we have, let's see, this is gonna be hard to do. Tracy Moreau, on this side, is doing the Joy. It's called Joy Tag. Kim Evans is doing the Holiday Lights, that one right there. We have Deb Antonick doing the gnomes, there, adorable little gnomes. And we have Karen Beaupre from a Chipboard and Southern Ridge doing the truck. Oh, the truck, there we go. So that's just kind of a neat opportunity. It'll be 4 hours long, 1 hour from each presenter. It is free, but you can order the kits ahead of time. So go to emeraldcreek.co to get more information. And we will also put the link on our page as well, so that you can get information there. So it's a great way to learn, but also to support some of these businesses and local artists. All right, let's get to it. Today, our guest is Erika Joanne. Erika and her husband live in beautiful and inspiring Pacific Northwest. She enjoys delving into the whimsy and purely imaginative art styles and has an innovative paint and pencil line of design package, which successfully combine colored pencil and acrylic paint with unique results. As a Josanya creative, she can help you create the Josanya paint system and how it works with her colored pencils. She and her certified teachers love to teach and are ready to share these fun techniques. You can find a variety of patterns and supplies all on her website, along with information about upcoming classes. Her students find her classes to be relaxing, fun, and filled with educational, artful insight. Welcome, Joanne. Hello.
Hi. I have to turn you off here for a second. Hold on. Gosh, hold on. There we go.
There we go. Yes, all the different devices. I know when I first started, I always kind of have my phone sitting here so I can watch the feed. And I was like, oh, darn, every week I have to make sure I turn all the volumes off, because even if you got the one off, but you have to have the one for your media, for social, for everything. So it's quite a whole process here.
It's a lot. It's a lot for our brains, but
It
thank you for
is.
let me be on. I thank you. My teachers, thank you. It's an honor to be here.
Well, thank you for coming on. I'm really excited. Like I've mentioned before, it's just quite a unique experience that we can get to know people from creative people from all over the world that we've never met before, and maybe our paths never would have crossed, but now we have, and this is wonderful. I'm just so grateful that you're on the show today. So
Thank you.
one thing I read that maybe people don't know about you is that you are the oldest of 10 children.
I am.
Wow.
Yes, I am.
Oh, that must have been
Yeah.
quite the household growing up.
It was. It was crazy times. I remember we lived down in California, and there's a little space between my sister right under me. And so I was kind of older, and then all these little kids, and my mom had a lot of kids just trailing right after another. But we had an area in our house where we could run in circles around the kitchen, through the family room, down to the living room, and then back. And they would just do that all day. And it was an awesome experience, and I have some wonderful siblings. My mom's living with us now.
Oh, wow.
We have a wonderful family, and I learned to be able to tune out noise really easily
I
and
can
focus.
imagine. So tell us a little bit about yourself. How did you get involved in the creative art industry?
Well, okay, we go back many years, but in high school is when I discovered that I could draw and that I loved art. I mean, I always loved art, but in high school, I really discovered my talent by taking art classes. That's why it's such a bummer if there's no art classes in high school, because that is really needed for people
Yeah.
like me. And then I got a scholarship and went to college, got a scholarship to the college I went to and took some art classes there. And then life changed for me. I moved up to Washington State from California, and shortly thereafter met my husband, got married. There was a little kind of hiatus from art, but then I had a friend invite me to come do a toll painting project with her. This is back in the 80s. And I was just so happy and eager and thirsty for anything that was art related. To get me away from the laundry and and at the time I had taken some college classes, and I was always frustrated with the color theory and the use of color. I knew black and white, but I had a difficult time with color. Well, the little bottles of paint just flew open the doors of color to me and were the answer for me and helping me understand highlight, shading, your base color, and that really answered a lot for me.
Oh, that's
So,
wonderful. Wonderful.
Yeah.
So, and you're involved in a lot of different things right now too, some Zoom classes. Can you tell us a little bit about what your life is looking like right now?
Well, it's busy. I have to back up the truck a little bit and take some things out, because I could let this just take over my whole entire existence, and I can't do that. But I can't be one-dimensional. But I am very busy with our business. I'm always trying to create new designs. And then, hi, cutie. And then we have 11 certified teachers that work with us, and they teach too. We have, we have our website, and then we also have a Facebook group page called Paint and Pencil with Us that we manage. And we have fun things going on there. I'm on weekly with their lives, Facebook lives, and we do art challenges. Tonight's going to be art appreciation night.
Oh, wonderful. I apologize. I'm just going to say right now, this is my grandson, Micah.
Hi, Micah.
And right now, my daughter, Ashley, my oldest, they're staying here with us. And Ashley had a concussion about 3 years ago, and it's come back. She's having a post-concussion syndrome. And so I am in full charge of my grandchildren. And so he always comes up here after his quiet time to work and do art with me. And I think they forgot that today was Audrey Live. So I'm going to have Micah, can you sit over there? Because Oma's just
Mhm.
busy for a minute, okay? And you can do
Oh,
your coloring. So he sits here for hours and does coloring and cutting and some painting. He's making an Optimus Prime. And so it's just kind of a neat opportunity. So
I love it. I wish I had my grandchildren nearby I could do that with, but
yeah,
they live out of
exactly.
state,
Mhm.
and I think that's really special that
It
he can,
is very special.
it'll makes memories that he will never forget.
Exactly,
Mhm,
exactly. So maybe
mhm.
what we will do, so I can go get him settled, I'm going to have you do your demo for us.
Okay,
And
okay.
what are you demoing for us today?
Well, I'm going to work on, I don't know if you can see it very well, but it's a pumpkin with some mushrooms. So
Oh,
I'm going to work on that and show how to shade
awesome.
that little
Very
project.
nice.
So,
Okay. And I'm going to
okay,
pin you and mute myself so that I can get him settled. And you can go
okay,
right ahead and demonstrate to everybody.
okay. Audrey, how much time would you like me to take with this?
Say about 10 minutes or so. That'd be
Okay,
awesome.
okay, no problem. All right, I'm gonna put everyone down here and get you guys seeing what I have on my table. There we go. So that's so sweet that Audrey has her grandchild there. I love that. And like I said, when I talk about school and and people taking classes, art classes out of the schools, I think it's such a shame because we have a group of people that speak visually, and we really do need to be able to express ourselves in a visual manner. And so it's so neat to see people encouraging grandchildren and the children around them in art. So this is a little mushroom project, and it's part of a bigger project. We just did a fall gathering with my teachers and did an event, and we introduced this pattern called Autumn Tide. And this is just one of the little projects from that pattern. And I just wanted to take a moment and show you how I go about shading my work. But I'll start out first with, the first thing you do if you're not familiar with how we start with our painting, we trace our pattern onto our material. And I use watercolor paper quite often. I also work on wood and metal too, but for this project, it's kind of nice to just work on watercolor paper. You could make a little tag out of it like I have traced on here, or you can actually, I'm going to show you the original. You can actually glue it to a block once you're done. See how that works? You can glue it onto a block. So anywho, but this is just kind of giving you a feel for how I go about shading with my color pencil over paint. The painted washes are done with a Josonia acrylic line. They have a wonderful artist quality line, and Josonia, if you know who she is, she's a world-renowned artist and has been doing her thing for many, many years. And we love her, and just are tickled pink that we can use the paint that she developed with a group called Chroma. Anyway, I watered it down and created a wash and put in my colors. And now to do my shading, I'm going to use my Prismacolor Premier pencils. These are wax-based. They're really soft and they're artist quality. And this will be my shading color. So when I shade a project, I typically like to work in 3 different values, and that's kind of how my brain can take in, like a sponge, take in that information if I break it down. So I break it down to 3 different values in my head. And so I want my dark value, my medium value, and my light value. And right now I'm working on my dark value. Okay. And ultimately I want it to look like a painted float of color or a painted shade of color. So now I'm going into my medium value. I'm going to use a little less pressure. I used more pressure with the dark value. Using less pressure, moving on up to the middle of the mushroom. And then I want it to fade right into the mushroom. Okay, so I'm just going to keep going, but I'm going to lighten up my value even further. Okay. And then on we go. And then it looks like a floated thing of color when you get done. You want to definitely brush off any extra crumbs that come off because there's a little bit of texture on the watercolor paper and that will generate crumbs from your pencil. So if you want it to look fine, really fine and not have so much texture in it, you just use a sharper pencil and smaller circles that overlap each other and it will look softer that way. Okay, so I've got that.
Someone else, what color are your pencils?
Someone,
I was just gonna
okay,
say I'm back here. I see somebody's asked what color is the red pencil?
it's poppy red from Prismacolor. And I'm gonna work on the little tip here. Yeah, interrupt me anytime, Audrey. Okay, so here's the dark value, okay? And then I'm moving into my medium value. I'm gonna use a circular motion and go a little lighter with my hand and see how I really try and overlap those circles. And then down into a soft light value. Okay, so there we go. And then that's the same thing you do with this little mushroom, is moving on into the corner. That's my dark value. And then a little less pressure, lightening up, letting it blend, and then moving on into the light value. Let it just fade right off. Sometimes if you have a heavy hand with your painting, you're going to have a heavy hand with your penciling, which is kind of interesting. It's really all about what our eyes see. And so if you find that you have a hard time getting that light value in there, it can be tough sometimes if there's a big jump in value between the base color and your shade color. But if you have a hard time with that, you can always go back with an eraser and just lightly erase the end of your penciling, and that will create your light value. Okay, so moving on over to my mushroom on the right. Same thing, I'm just working in the corners, the left corners there. And dark value, medium, and light. And then up here in this corner, dark value, medium, and light. So that's how you do that. Now I'm going to ultimately go back and use more colors to layer over that and build up the shading and change the tint of the color. But for now, that works good. And for the pumpkin, let's see, I've got
Now,
this
before you
true.
move on, Ruth was just asking if the painted wash is the lightest value that you use.
Yes. I had to think about that for a second. Yes, because your shaded value is darker. Yes. And it depends on the jump of value between the two. So like for the mushroom stems, I've got white, warm white, and this is warm gray, 30%. I don't want to start shading these pumpkin stems with black, right? Because that's a huge jump in value and it would be really hard to make it soft. But if I go up with a light gray, that's much more doable. So this is my dark value here. And then I'm moving into my medium value and my light. And it's just a feather touch on the light. And like I said, if you want it to look softer, you just go in with a sharper pencil and more layering. Make sure those layers, if you see any little spot, like white spots, you can go in there and touch those. But that's basically it. I'll do it again here. So that's my dark value. And then medium, I'm trying to blend the two values together. And then light. And painting has taught me all about shading. It's helped me understand color and the values. Painting has been a wonderful thing. And I do love to paint still. I haven't given up my painting, but I do focus a lot on the color pencil and paint combined. I
There's
love the two worlds.
another question, would watercolor, actually two questions. The one is, would
Mhm.
watercolor paint work as well for this technique? And also, what type of eraser do you use?
Watercolor would work with this branch of the technique. There's other painted items that I do when the base color is opaque. And the reason why we like the Josonia line is because they don't add mediums to their paint. And so the color pencils go really well. It's just a velvety matte finish that comes from the paint. The Prismacolors lay really well over that type of paint. But for doing washes, you'd be okay to use watercolor. And what was the other question?
What eraser are you using?
Oh, what eraser? Okay, mine's kind of chopped up and used, but we have these erasers on our website. They come in triangles, ovals, and let's see, squares. Anyway, they come in different colors and stuff, but they're all basically the same thing, and they have a nice edge on them, and they're by Faber-Castell. So wonderful eraser for what I do. I'm going to show you a base coated piece. Hold on for a second. Okay. So the difference between working on watercolor paper with washes and watercolor paper with a base coat is this. It has definitely a different look when you base coat. Here's another example. And in this situation, watercolor would not work. The Josonia paint line works perfect for this. So, any other questions?
I think we're good for now.
Okay, all right. You want me to continue on? I'll go into the blue area because it's so pretty. I love the blue. So here's the blue pencil. I'm using the True Blue Prismacolor, and I've got my dark value, medium. Sometimes the values are a lot smaller in scope, it's just a smaller area. So you finish your dark, medium, and light value really fast. And then you can go down. It is so nice to be able to work with the color pencils. You start out your paint and then you can just put it in a notebook, put all your color pencil supplies in the notebook, and then you can take it with you when you travel. It's awesome. It's really versatile and nice. You can do it while you're sitting in front of the TV. Oftentimes I'll put my piece on a clipboard and go and watch a movie with my mom. So you can see how beautiful that can turn out to be when you have when you get the feel for the values and for shading.
Very nice.
Mhm.
Debbie's asking, do you always use a circular motion with the pencil?
I try to do it that way, be consistent that way, but there's some situations where it doesn't make sense. One situation would be like if I'm coloring in this U, this is all one color or one value. So, I'm just going back and forth with this motion. But I use the circular motion because it kind of helps remind me what value I'm in. When I do my dark value, I kind of go back and forth and put it in with a little more pressure. And then when I move into my medium value, then I start into my circles. It helps keep a nice consistent feel to your work too. So it kind of just depends on the area, but it does help me and reminds me that I need to go softer.
And do you use watercolor pencils ever instead of the wax? And what's the difference?
Watercolor pencils are made to add water to. So when you use a watercolor pencil on a surface, then you're going to go in with a brush and water that area and create kind of like a watercolor. It's just like paint, right? I like the wax-based. I haven't stepped into the watercolor pencil realm quite yet, but I really do enjoy the wax-based. So.
That's wonderful. That is just beautiful. And this is part of a new collection that you are.
Right. I'm putting the pattern packet together right now, and it should be, the e-pattern should be ready either tomorrow, not today, tomorrow or Saturday. So it's going to be ready on my website, and it will be packed with lots of, what's kind of fun about all the little pieces in this, here's a scarecrow, is that you could take the letter off and just make little tags out of them, or just a shelf sitter, however you want to do it. But there's a lot of versatile things you can do with this pattern. Lots of fun.
That sounds great.
Thank you.
And how many patterns are part of the Autumn Tide?
It's just one pattern, but there are 10 different designs in there. So it spells out Autumn Tide. Each letter has a design. See if I can find more here. There's a little fox, and there's a little fox. There's an apple. There's an owl. So lots of fun.
Oh, I love the owl.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to put us side by side a minute, so I'm not sure whether you can show your face again.
Okay, I can do that.
I had another question for you, and it's one I didn't ask ahead of time, but I've had a few people ask me, and specifically Ruth Cook called me this morning as well, and she said, how do you go about doing your setup for teaching online? So what do you do to go from your face to showing people? What equipment do you need? You obviously are very comfortable with it.
Well, I can tell you it's not sophisticated at all.
Well, and that's good. Simple is good. So maybe you can explain a bit to people about what the system is.
Well, this was just trial and error, and we are still learning. There's so much to learn about doing this live stuff, as you know. But there is I can't remember the name of it, but there is a stand that you can buy, and it's a metal stand, and it goes up and down, and it has like an arm on it that moves like this. Do you know what it's called? I can't remember what it's called. Anyway, you can find that on Amazon. We inverted that and put it up into our ceiling. So we screwed that up, we put holes in it and put it up into our ceiling, and then we put a selfie stick on that. So that's how we flip like this. It's just a selfie stick. Not sophisticated at all.
Genius.
Yeah, so it works.
It doesn't need to be complicated, right?
No, it doesn't have to be, and doesn't have to cost a lot of money. There are lots of different options out there. And for this works well for me, because when I'm not working, I can just push it up and it's out of my way. And then also when I'm on live, I don't have it on my table, so I'm not moving it while I'm working, which could be a problem. You can have your camera bounce. So
that's true.
Yeah.
I see we have a couple more questions here. How do you set the color project when complete? Do you varnish it, matte spray? How do you finish it?
That is a perfect question. Thank you for that question.
That was from Birdie B. Whoever Birdie B is, thank you, Birdie B.
Thank you. So there are a couple different ways you can do it. And you can use the spray fixative. It's a workable fixative. You can get it by Krylon. That works really great to set your pencils. You never, ever, ever like put this in big bold letters in front of you. Never take varnish and put it right directly over your pencil, because it will smear it. It just interacts with each other, and it just causes this smeary cloud all over your project. So you always want to set your pencils first before you varnish, always. So workable fixative works well for that. Just take it outside and put your piece vertical. Don't ever lay it down horizontal. Always put it vertical. Just set it up against something and then start spraying before you hit your piece. And then just do light sprays. Think of a mist. So maybe like several mists of spray. That's one way. The other way is we use what's called a fast drying glaze medium by Josonia. And that works well if you're in a classroom setting, or if you're at home, you don't want to go outside, or you're sensitive to sprays. That works really well. There are some really hard, fast rules about that, though, because it can also smear your work. So I'll just tell you really quick.
I was going to say, are you brushing it on, or?
You're brushing it on. It's just a liquid seal. It's like a light sealer. You want to use a dry brush, no water, no moisture in your brush. So that's the first hard, fast rule. Your paint, anything underneath that you're going to set needs to be completely dry also. I'm going to see if I can find the bottle here so I can show you what it looks like. It's always like the last thing you can find. Anyway, maybe my husband will find it for me. Anyway, so no moisture anywhere. Everything needs to be dry. So dry brush and a soft brush. I like to use, Josonia has a really nice soft brush, and this is the oval wash brushes that they have. They come in lots of different sizes. And then you hold your brush down at the end, okay? So that means you're not putting hardly any pressure on this end. So you want it to be very light. You don't want to be pulling hard over your piece, because that's going to just pull up your color pencil. So the lighter the pressure, the better. Just lay it down. You dip your brush into your medium and just lay it across one way. Don't go like this. Just one time, and then dip in again and lay down, and just do that until you go all the way across your piece, and you'll be fine if you keep those rules.
Perfect.
So, yeah.
Another question from Karen. Can you do this technique on wood or only paper?
Oh, you can do it on wood. We work primarily on MDF because it's smooth and hard. It's a difficult thing to do over like pine or wood that has grain in it, because you can't have that consistent look with your color pencil work. So hard and yeah, like consistent wood, and MDF has worked really well for us. Like this plate is an MDF plate, works really great. And then I also work on metal too. We've done several things on metal, so.
Oh, wow. That's
yeah. It's also got that hard, smooth surface that you work on.
Yeah. Perfect. Oh, I see Heather's just replying to, Heather's. Thank you, Heather. She's making some nice, do you know Heather?
Yes, Heather is actually one of our certified teachers.
Oh,
so thank you, Heather.
awesome.
She's taking care of us.
Oh, awesome. That's great. Barbara saying, is Josonia paint thick like folk art paint? Or what type of texture, consistency is the Josonia paint?
It is an artist quality paint, so it is a little thicker than some of your bottled paints for sure. It's not extremely thick. I've seen acrylics out there, they come out and it just looks like a line of paint, that comes out. It's not like that, or a tube of paint. It's in between, I would want to say. So, but yeah, and you use the different mediums. Josonia purposely designed that line so that you would put the mediums in as you needed them, instead of having a lot of the paint companies already have the mediums in. They have the sealers and everything in their paint. The Josonia line does not have sealer in it. So that's what works great for color pencil. So
perfect.
This is the fast drying glaze medium I was trying to show you.
There we go.
This works really great for sealing, but you got to keep our rules.
Yes. Yeah. Now, are those rules written somewhere, or?
They are in all my patterns. All my patterns have that. So
perfect.
yeah.
Perfect. Awesome. And
Mhm.
also, if anybody wants to contact you or get more information about your patterns and your classes, they can
Mhm.
just go to your website. Is that correct?
Right.
Best
Yep. That's
place?
there. Hmm.
And it's erikajoanne.com, and Erica with a K, not with a C, Erica with
Right.
a K.
Not a CK, not a K, not a
No,
C.
no,
Yeah,
no,
just a K. Oh, and we
no.
have, like, if you want to see what's going on amongst our family of certified teachers, you can go look at all their names. They have classes listed on their individual pages on our website too.
Oh, perfect.
Mhm.
Perfect. Well, this
Yeah.
has been great. Thank you so much for coming on, Erica, and showing us
Mhm.
all the different techniques there. And I'm just so pleased that you could be on the show today with us. So, and that you
Well,
met my grandson.
he's cute. Have fun with your grandkids. I'm
It
jealous.
is. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, the 2.5-year-old is in bed and my daughter's in the house, but that's his routine. Once he has his quiet time, he
Mhm.
just comes out to Oma's studio and comes and crafts with me while I'm working. So,
Mhm.
so
He
that was,
knows where to find you.
he knows exactly where to find me.
That's awesome.
All right.
Well,
Thank you so much.
thank you.
Have a
Bye-bye,
great
everyone.
day. Yep.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. That was really neat. She's just a wonderful person. Just so glad that we could have her on, and thank you, Heather, for answering some of those questions. And Ruth, I hope that was helpful. I am going to get some more information for you, but hopefully that was helpful. That seems like that's the first time I've heard somebody doing that they just use their selfie stick and then all they do is just move the phone with the selfie or move the selfie stick. So that's a great idea. So now we have Debbie Cotton. Debbie Cotton. She is from Port Perry, near Port Perry, Ontario, and she has the ability to paint and design and offer lessons that feature a large variety of subjects, such as animals, vintage style trucks. Everybody knows her vintage style trucks and tractors. Debbie is also just amazing decorative ideas. I've been at her old place and I've seen kind of some pictures of her new place, and she just has some great ideas. She did a boathouse project for one of our shows and also her outdoor patio space. Today, she's going to show us how to make a beautiful outdoor winter decoration. And I think we're ready to go. Here she is.
This is my second pot, and I wanted to tell you I actually found these pots for a really good find. Super excited about them. I picked them up a couple of days ago. They were a really good price, but they were the wrong color. They were a light gray, kind of a silver color. So I brought them home and I painted them 2 coats of Deco Art Americana outdoor living paint. This stuff is awesome. Only 2 coats and it just went on so nice and smooth. Let it dry in between coats and here it is all ready to be displayed. So because these pots are really long and deep, I actually just filled them with bags of soil. I didn't open up the soil, I just filled them with bags. And I picked up these outdoor pots just to kind of sit on top, so that's what I'll put my greenery in. Now I'm pretty lucky where we live. We have Emerson Lane beside us. It's a cottage road. So I'm able to go out and cut cedar and some pine and some really good outdoor stuff. This year I didn't have much luck with dogwood. So dogwood is the really nice red sticks. So I actually found these at Canadian Tire, believe it or not. And I thought these are really cool because I wanted something nice and high to start my arrangement in the middle. So I like to give it some height. So these sticks were perfect. They're kind of neat because they're nice and curly and they twist. So I'll just put these in the best I can. So I'm just sinking it down into the dirt. Okay, so there's the start of my arrangement. I think that looks pretty good. Just make sure you get them down in there so they're nice and secure before we get those high winter winds. And next, I'm going to start to add my greens, but you're definitely going to need some gloves because I'm not sure. I kind of think this is a spruce, but it's like really prickly. So I have cut these, but I keep snips handy, so you may have to shorten them as you go. I do like them a little long. Kind of get these to cascade over the sides. And this will help to camouflage my pot as well. These are my husband's gloves. So I hope he doesn't watch this video. So really, I just kind of eye it up. And I think that's looking pretty good. The trick is not to kind of arrange it so they look like all little soldiers staggered in a row. You need it offset, a little more natural looking. And just to break it up, add some variation in your greenery. Next, I'm adding in some cedar. So I love the cedar. It smells so nice. And actually, so far, I'm getting away pretty lucky with not having to use those snips. It's almost like you just don't overthink it. You just do it. Oops. So I'm just kind of trying to hurry because it's a little repetitive with the greens. But it's nice to see how it comes together. Filling in the holes. I put some cedar underneath as well, so again, it's not all just perfectly layered. We got Champ in the video. Hey, Champ. Champ's waiting for his walk. So, and I know you won't really see them as much from in behind, but to me it's not complete unless you do it all the way around. So what do you think? It's coming together pretty good? And at the end, when you stand back and you have a look, if you think, oh, I could have used a little more greenery here or there, you can always go back and add a little bit more. And sometimes it's nice to just kind of stand back and have a little look. And just from that, I think that's probably enough greenery for now. So my next little item that I'm going to put in, and these really act nice for fillers, and it's the snowball hydrangeas. So I do have to cut those a little. So when you do a decoration like this, odd numbers work well. So if you do like 3 or 5, these are a little delicate, so just be careful when you put them in. And it's kind of nice if you're doing your gardens and you really like to do arrangements like this, you can always think about what you could use from your garden for the winter. So stuff like holly is really nice with the red berries. So we'll see, I'm thinking maybe 5 of these, but also what I like to do is maybe have them poking out from underneath too, just keep it looking a little more natural. And notice some are big and some are small, which is nice. Got one nice big one out in here. Let's see if that's too much. I'm going to stand back and have a look. I like it. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to do 6. And then one more for 7. We got a cute little guy right here. Where should we put him? Right up in there. Okay, so next I have these awesome red berries. So I did go to Michael's and I purchased these. Sumac is a really nice outdoor flower that you could put in. I didn't have much luck with my sumac this year, so when I was out and about on my travels, I came across these and I just knew I had to have them. So it adds a nice little punch of color. So, and again, notice I'm kind of poking some underneath. And you can play with these and spread them apart a little bit. Try one up in here. So where else? It's when the last couple ones you kind of need to stand back and have a little look. I feel like maybe we need a little more red coming out through here. Starting to get full, so it starts to get a little harder to insert these into the dirt. There we go. So then that one makes a nice little grouping. And sorry there, little champy. Maybe one more poking out from this great big snowball. Okay, so you can stand back and have a look. I think it's looking pretty good. And then finally, I have these pine cones. I've had them forever. They're nice. You can use them inside in baskets and stuff, but they also just add a little more texture, a little more color. Maybe group a couple. So there's 3, and I have these 2 on a stick. Sometimes you can actually buy these too on sticks if you go to your local art craft supply store. Okay, so there we go. I hope you've enjoyed my little demo. I wish everybody a very Merry Christmas.
Oh, thank you, Debbie. There, you can see 10 minutes and a lot of things that you maybe can get around your area, or if you go for a walk, perhaps you can find them. You can make your own because these are quite expensive. You go to the garden centers to purchase. Just really easy to make yourself. So we did have a couple people ask if they can watch it again, and definitely we will have it up on our YouTube channel probably by later today or tomorrow. And just go to YouTube and put in Pin It Canada, and there you'll see the whole show. And perhaps we'll just put up Deb's portion as well, so then that way if you want to go and watch what she's done. So, and Debbie's got just some beautiful artwork and designs and pieces and that sort of thing. So make sure you hop over to her website, simply-cotton.com for more information. And like I had mentioned before, she's going to be doing this really neat class right there, Zoom class. So you can just go to her website, and it's under Zoom classes to register for that for November 20th. Yeah, wow, lots going on today. So thank you, Debbie. Thank you, Erika, for being on the show today. It's just been great. I think we're all starting to get into that holiday spirit, perhaps, and start thinking about Christmas decorating, Christmas crafting, things that we're going to be doing. So we'll be showing a lot of that in the next upcoming weeks as well. Also, oh yeah, I almost forgot. Oh no, Debbie, the lights. Debbie said that she ended up putting lights on it. So I just want to show you the picture there. There's her picture after she was done. She put little mini lights in there. So just make sure that if you like, you can do that as well. And that's really just makes it pop at nighttime as well. So that's really a great idea, Debbie, and thank you for sharing that. Next week on Audrey Live, which will be November 19th, we have Lydia Steves. She's going to be our live guest on the show. And many of you probably know her as the artist that she loves to paint animals, and she loves animals. I love seeing her posts on Facebook with all her little creatures that she has, live creatures, but also creatures that she paints. So she's going to be on the show with us next week. Also, we have a surprise announcement. So you don't want to miss next week's show. Anyway, all next week, November 19th at 1 p.m. Eastern. Take care of yourself. Take care of each other. I'm Audrey Young, and this is Audrey Live. Have a great week. Bye-bye.